take, and Australia survive inside their own in-goal area, but it was a forward pass. And the handover will take place.
Wow.
10 from the Aussie line. What about that for a play on the 6 tackle?
Wow. You got to play like that on the 6. You know, you got to play. You got to let the ball sing. You got to express yourself. Now, probably the Australian at the moment, they are on their haunches. They're in a group. They look tired. And all the energy's with England at the moment.
Just having a look around at the Aussie fans around us.
Very quiet.
They are very quiet, very subdued.
Quiet.
Munching on pizza, texting friends, sipping beer. Encouraged a little known now because they have a penalty here, which will take them, you would have thought, inside the England half with a first tap restart.
You haven't seen this for a long time, Brian, where we're an England team when they want to make a break or make momentum at the ruck are doing it easy, where Australia just can't galvanise anything, can they? You know, I mean, they can't even initiate anything at the moment. You know, it's very much, the scoreboard's not a true indication, I don't think, of the game at the moment.
No. And is that a worry, the fact that England maybe should be a little further ahead?
Yeah, I think it is when you've got Cameron Smith, Greg Inglis, the best fullback and the best 9 in the game. So they're the ones where it's got to generate eventually from.
There's New Zealand-born Josh Papali, the Canberra prop, who's tackled 30 metres away. Smith now picks it up and offers it inside to Greg Bird. Super League fans will remember him playing in the halves for Catalan a few years ago, of course. Now it comes to Cronk. Cronk to Daly Cherry Evans. Back to Inglis. Inglis has seen a gap and goes. And GI reaches out. The referee is asking whether he caught there.
I think he's asking for
it. He thinks he has.
I think it's the instruction again, mate. It's this is what this player can do, Inglis. The referee's said it's a try. He's now going to go to the situation where his first ignition thoughts is bodies in motion. Does any one of those bodies in motion who doesn't get the ball, do they impede a defender that stops Inglis? And I think you're going to find here, so that this could be really interesting, that player there, because you are not allowed to go to the outside. I think it's a poor read, Brian. I think it's a poor read. But as an attacking player, you do not want to go to the outside shoulder. You need to head to an inside.
Boyd Cordner.
He needs to play his inside shoulder.
And if he'd not been there, Matty Smith would have tackled him, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. You tell a running player, you must run to an inside shoulder of the defender inside you, and you don't bring the video referee. He stepped out. Now, the big thing the video ref's got to determine here, does it play a part in impeding that defender getting to that space?
There he is.
Well, he ran an outline.
Well, I think it's going to be no try, because I'll tell you why. Watkins thinks that defender's alive and is moving, but he's caught up. Now, that's a great thing. This won't be a try.
Here we go. It's not going to go down well in Melbourne, this, I don't think. Not amongst the locals. Down by the Yarra. Decision, no try. Obstruction. Told you they wouldn't like it. They do, with the St. George's crosses in there, but the rest of them are pretty miserable about that.
I still think he would have scored it anyway, but he wasn't given a fair opportunity to put himself in that frame. From Australian point of view, that's the first time, I think, in this game we've seen Inglis touch the ball and explode. That's a warning shot to England's defence. Fair decision, Brian, you agree?
I think it's a good decision.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think Smith makes the play on Inglis anyway, but that's not the issue. The issue is he doesn't get a chance to make the play because Cordner stops him.
Yeah.
He actually runs an outline as Cordner rather than an inside shoulder line. So I think that's what's made the penalty be called.
Yeah.
But ain't that a different game? The Aussie bench not too happy, not too warm either, given the hoodies. But doesn't that make a different game? How different that would have been had Australia been given that try, and had they kicked the goals, a 2-point difference.
I think you asked that question, you know, England being dominant, is that a worry? And that was nearly a major worry then.
Here's a Lachlan. Wow. He ran right over the top of Greg Bird, didn't he? Bird was left on the floor. Taken on by Tom Burgess. But GI has shown his intent here, his capabilities here. This is Widdop does well to just maintain a line that didn't end up in obstruction.
He did real well. He had to carry the ball there, or England would have been penalised.
Tompkins gets a kick away on the 6. It's high. It's not too far downfield. Oh, it's allowed to bounce here. It's taken by Cooper Cronk. And Australia start there, 10 metres away from their own line. A little bunch there as well at the moment, the Aussies. a decent carry, though.
You can't stop concentrating at any stage when a ball's kicked and it bounced against an Australian team, irrespective of how ordinary we think they're being or average by their standards. The bounce of the ball, a loose ball, that's when your concentration has to be at its maximum. Marker play, all the little things in the game.
I think we were having a chat last week, Brian, and you made a really good point about that's where Australia's in front of England. They concentrate for 80 minutes.
Cameron Smith is off and running, but not with any great effect. But he has got the offload off to Daly Cherry Evans, and here's a bit of danger now. Hall had to come in to try and impede Papali, but they still keep it away. Cherry Evans, and Hall's involved again, and he does very well, the winger. And Cameron Smith is not looking too healthy in the middle at the moment. Although he's back on his feet. High kick. Tompkins, easy take. Running it back towards the middle again now. Lachlan scurrying back to dummy half. We're going to see another Burgess on here. Well, one Burgess on, one Burgess off, I think. Tom off, George on. Here's Charnley. Clark. Sure, Sam is watching back at home as well, settling into the way of things at Bath, but got up early this morning, no doubt, to have a look at what's going on the warm side of the world. There's Widdop's kick, and it's going to spike out of play on that far side and push Australia back inside their own half.
Smart kick. Bit shabby there, England, lost a bit of shape. Hill found the front from luckily, which enabled Widdop to kick the ball out and talk about what comes next. England need to keep playing. The danger here is if they stop playing. The way they've been playing has been brilliant and magnificent.
Yeah, you know, on one way the ball goes into touch, they're controlling the tempo of the game, England. On the other point, you look at Australia, I'm not sure if you need to kick the ball in the touch, Brian. I think if you're in England, you need to keep the ball in play and keep pressuring them, because when they're pressuring them, they're coming up with positivity. You know, I think Australia would probably like that break before they come out of their half.
See, Greg Bird is on the sidelines again now. Corey Parker is the man who's taken his place. Oh, here comes a push. What about that? What about that? Almost won it with a push against the head. Scrum disintegrated, so Australia get a second chance at a head and feet. Well, they're wearing old-fashioned shirts. That was very nearly an old-fashioned win at the scrum, that, wasn't it?
Well, I just think it's another indication of
how positive they are. They said, let's push and win the ball.
And that was, say, £9 on average extra per man on the field. So that's about nearly 4 stone, isn't it? Extra weight in the English pack. Blindside searched for, taken on by Walker. The man from South Sydney. Mansour, rather Matoyutai down that blind side. Scrambling to his feet. There's Papali, who offers it on. Corey Parker's first touch since his return from the interchange bench. Cameron Smith, Aaron Woods, spinning it back. Cronk to Cherry Evans. Inglis now taking on Watkins on the outside, but Watkins is back there to do a job and hold him up. Big man against slightly bigger man. This is Courtner. 5. 11 minutes of the second half played. Cameron Smith down the blind side. It was played at, so England need to get this, and Charnley has got it. England back in possession.
Well done, Josh Charnley. Adjudicated that it's played, as you quite rightly said, Dave. Well picked up. Oh,
that was high by Woods.
Wow, that was high.
I think there were even Australian players appealing for a penalty there, weren't there?
No, that much.
But the referee's not giving it. In his long, baggy white shorts. Here's Tompkins. He's having an influence here today. Clark. O'Loughlin. England have moved their way towards the halfway line. Here it comes for Matty Smith to drill it downfield.
Split the fullback and the winger really well today, hasn't he?
Does it hold? Yes, it does hold. Mansour's got even more work to do now. Well, they talk about a wall of whites. It's a wall of red and white today. The England call on this Four Nations trip is wall of white, get up there together. And they were up there together then. Australia slamming it forward. Cameron Smith, Corey Parker.
This is a massive call by Australia. They've took Sam Friday off a forward, brought Ben Hunt, who plays 7 for the Brisbane Broncos, halfback, and kept Smith on. So where's their go forward around the ruck area? And the kid, he's on his debut also.
Here he goes, Hunt, there you are, the number 18 from Brisbane. There was talk of him playing instead of Cherry Evans today, wasn't there? But
see, Brian, they lack size now, and they've now brought a halfback on to replace a guy who's playing front row.
Here's Cronk with a kick. Who settles under this? Charnley, Tompkins in the end.
Well, I think Tim Shees has rolled the dice here. I think he's going to go for speed and agility, try and find a little bit of footwork and find their front, and then play to Inglis and to Jennings. But there's a huge risk. They're struggling to go forward.
James Graham is ready to come back on to stamp his authority back on as well.
It's not only the go forward when you've got the ball, it's defensively that they're going to run at Hunt now, because he's going to have to defend in the middle of the ruck, something he's not used to. When you play halfback, you defend on an edge. So there's some momentum there for the English forwards if they want to head at Hunt.
There's Sargison, who's certainly sparkled today, hasn't he, Dan Sargison? Short of the half. Graham back on again, having had a little breather. 5 gone. England inside the Australian half. This is Matty Smith. Again a measured kick. Again one bounce, 2. Takes it out of play. Oh, it hits the corner flag, so it'll be a tap back on the 20. And Sam Burgess has just tweeted, apparently, yes, Woodsy, I am watching the game in Come on England. So Big Sam's supporting England as well from all those thousands of miles away. And Australia 30 from their own line. Clemmer, he will add a bit more size, won't he, to that Australian pack when he comes on, but he's replacing Aaron Woods, so it is like for like. Cameron Smith, Cronk, Cherry Evans, trying to make something happening, but nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Here's Jennings, penalty for Australia. That'll help their cause.
It's interesting, Brian, that the area they seem to always want to shift to and attack to is Watkins and Smith. That's the area, and that's where they nearly scored the try there just before half-time, Australia. You just see what they do in this set, where they come back at them and have another shot at them.
Here's Parker. First drive forward. The only chance in this second half, the English try that was ruled out for obstruction. Otherwise, as you were. 15.5 minutes of the second half play. Cameron Smith picks up and off he goes to that right hand side. Here's Cooper Cronk. They're looking for numbers again here, but England's defence is hanging on. They're only on tackle 3. Australia are primed in good position here. Hunt, it's Parker going no further. 2 tackles to go in the set. Here's Cameron Smith. Out to Cooper Cronk. Cronk again. The defence came across. Inglis was spotted on it.
Tackle.
Well read by the England defenders, and Inglis stays down. And on tackle 6, Australia down. And it's an eagle area, and Hunt on his debut has scored a try. A little bit of magic out of dummy half by Cameron Smith, I think it was. But Hunt read it superbly well. And Australia have clawed their way back into the game.
A super tackle on Greg Inglis. How many people could deny him that short of the line? I was just about to say, what's Ben Hunt's role? He's not dummy half. They seem to be a forward short, and Smith puts the grubber and he reads it so well. It changes the whole complexion of the game, and that's where Smith has that composure, doesn't he, Brian? Just the way that he kicks and controls games.
And it's that concentration element. Sure, England will have spoken about Smith and his kicking game on last plays near the line. Had to thread the needle. Should have run the Hunt off the ball, you know, the player in front of him, but that's the element of concentration I was talking about, because England, for me, have looked the better team by a long way, but the quality in the Australian team can do that to you.
I thought it was one of the best tackles I've seen in a long time, that on Inglis. The way he charged on the ball. Cronk dragged the defender in front of him, put him on a one-on-one. I think it was Sargison, was it? He was involved with the tackle. I thought, wow. And then I thought, what can they come up with here, Australia? Their strike players playing the ball, and Smith comes out for Hunt.
Cameron Smith, not going to miss that one, is he? No. Well, he missed an easy-ish kick in the first half. The only other try that Australia has scored today. But the second one was scored by Ben Hunt, is converted by Cameron Smith. It is Australia 10, England 12. And we're brushing towards the hour mark in this test match.
Interesting how they both take it mentally here, Brian, isn't it?
I was going to say a couple of minutes before the trial, and England within the ascendancy, and I wasn't too worried about what they're doing. Have England become a little bit conservative in relation to what they were doing in the first half? With drive, they're satisfied with just a kicking game?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The positive for them, they've scored the try from the kick, so they really haven't broke your line, you know what I mean, going through it. Yeah. But you just felt they were starting to just sort of tighten their game up, England, weren't you? Charge and kick with Smith. They lost that little bit of flamboyancy on the edge. They were doing so well earlier. I think you make a good point there.
Well, do they lift themselves again here in response to conceding that try? Clemmer with a drive. Here's Courtner, Boyd Courtner. The Sydney Roosters plays with a club, of course, where Steve McNamara is on the coaching staff. He knows a lot about a lot of these Australian players, including Inglis and the threat he carries and the power with which he runs the ball. Inside England territory again. Hunt up at dummy half. They've got a bit more option there now. Cameron Smith out to that right-hand side. Pulled down on the 5th, plays it. Hunt now on the 6th. Up to the line, drills it through. Not going high this time, along the ground, but Sam Tompkins is still up to that task and skips it back 15 yards from his own line.
They've got to hold the nerve here, England. Get back into their scheme of things. Get back into what they were doing so well. Don't be dictated to. You've got to still play, boys.
It's a big Burgess drive again. George, the man on the field. This is Graham.
2 good carries.
Oh, put your hand up and lead the team. That's what James Graham's doing.
Tompkins, Joel Tompkins. Brother Sam at dummy half. 6 tackle again. Matty Smith's kick again, finding a bit of ground, a bit of a hop and a bit of a skip and a bit of a jump and makes the job a little harder for Sione Matautai, who brings it back beyond the 25-metre mark. Cherry Evans, a little bit of a fumble for the man who's actually named after Daley Thompson. His mum's English, Daley Cherry Evans. And big fan of Daley Thompson. That's why he carries that first name. Oh, a knock on. Knock on. Well, while we're watching Sione Matautai being treated there was a knock on at the play the ball, and England have the head and feet at the scrum here.
Oh, big momentum change this inside the Australian 30. And you just felt they was just starting to get momentum here, Australia, and there were some warning signs here for England. They'd have to be right on their game, but this will be good to see how positive they are now, Brian. They're down here. They need to keep positive. They've done very well when they've got their forwards to run a little bit of an outline towards the defender, the 4-man, and they're trying to get to the Australian halves.
There's Graham standing out of the scrum in that standoffs position with a first drive. Clark. Here comes George Burgess ahead through, and he's lost it. Had he read it written? No, he just simply lost it. He's complaining to the referee that it was stolen away.
It's a big call. I've got to say, history says when the ball comes out like that, they usually favour the attacking team, don't they?
There was a 0 tackle the first, so here's the first. So Australia already making decent ground, 15 metres short of the halfway line with 5 tackles to go. Corey Parker. England still lead here. 12 points to 10 in a tournament that has given us some absolute knife-edge games so far. England-Samoa last week, New Zealand-Samoa yesterday, and here we have England-Australia that looks like it's going to the very end again. Hunt to Cronk. Cronk with a dummy, and off he darts. But a recovery by the England defenders, Clark and Burgess between them. 6 tackle, Hunt puts it high. Charlie's underneath it. Charlie up, oh, and he's got the arm stretched, he's lost it, and Callum Watkins with a goalkeeper's dive to push it behind the net ball line and save the day for England.
I think we asked the question, what would Ben Hunt do when he comes on? I'll tell you what he's done, he's been busy. He's busy, he's given Cameron Smith some breaks. He's been a great option in their kicking game, which he was there, he put up a kick. It's probably gone a little bit too early here, Josh, but, you know, a good sign is there's plenty of rendered white around them. He does a good job here, Watkins, doesn't he? Oh.
Doesn't he just? Scores Jennings if he doesn't do that.
Nah.
Just 20,500 here today. Crowd just been put up. It's not rugby league territory, this, is it? They do have a successful rugby league side here in the Melbourne Storm, but it is very much Australian rules territory, isn't it? And for this next week or so, it's Melbourne Cup territory. Melbourne Cup on Tuesday, the day we leave town, by the way, which is not great timing, but anyway, there you go. Australia looking to turn the screw. Here's Clemmer. 17 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Australia, you just get a feeling, are beginning to rack it up a little here. Here comes Cherry Evans, the ball back on the inside, and Greg Inglis will score the try. He won't be denied this time, but a little bit of magic this time from Cherry Evans. And Inglis, the big man, in support. And for the first time in a long time, Australia lead the game.
No coincidence. You've got Dale Cherry Evans running the ball now, running the ball the line. England's hovering on the inside and picks him up. And he's got right in the last 20 minutes, it's been like a switch went on with Greg Inglis. I don't know, it's because Ben Hunt's come on and they're giving a little bit more flexibility. They've moved the ball a bit more to an edge. But all of a sudden, he's flicked the switch and he's become a threat to the defensive line. So not only when he hasn't got the ball, they've had to defend on him, it's given people around him a bit of space when they've had the ball. Brian, you're looking at it here and you think, wow, that the momentum's shifting very quickly, isn't it?
I just think Australia are finding their fronts on the back of a penalty and an error, and England being a bit conservative. Keep playing England. They're still in with a good chance here. They've got to get back to their formula of the first 50-55 minutes. But Australia have certainly stepped up a gear in this last 5 minutes, and you know, so you've got to go with it. You've got to stand up there. You've got to go with it and take your opportunities then.
Cameron Smith on home ground territory here with another kick that is exactly where it needs to be. And Australia now lead by 16 points to 12. 15 massive minutes to play in Melbourne. Australia have their noses ahead.
Well, welcome to, here's the restart and the collisions that are going on in and around the middle. They're certainly not missing each other, but I think from the next play, I think Cherry Evans it was that managed to get outside. I think it's Darryl Clark that misses his assignment there. He goes straight past him. He's just a bit tight on Matty Smith on the inside there.
Well, it's Josh Hunt who's back on the field. Josh Hodgson, rather, who's back on the field. England looking to put pressure on here.
Sorry, Hodgson.
It's Bird.
I think to win the game, England, they need to bring Clark back on, but Brian, you can't have him off for too long. He was causing them problems there. At least darting dummy half runs.
Well, Lachlan leading the way, the captain there, springing out of that line. It's Cronk's out right-hand side. Here now is Cordner. Australia 5 yards short of the halfway line with the sixth tackle looming. So Cronk again boots it downfield. Tompkins and Charlie were perilously close to each other there, but Tompkins has taken it well.
And the men have cleaned up pretty much everything, haven't they? You know, the Tompkins and Charlie and Hall between them. The one exception was Charlie when Watkins came to the rescue and batted the ball out.
Here's Hodgson, stands and waits. This is Ferris, Brett Ferris. A little look at the referee as he picks himself up. It's a Lachlan. Woodham to Farrell. England with a couple of tackles to go here. It's George Burgess. 5 gone. Hodgson looking to Smith. Smith can't get the kick away before the pressure's there, so hands it on to Ferris. Ferris sends it spiralling up there. Caught by Josh Mansour. England in his face. Cherry Evans hands it on here to Michael Jennings. Farrell came out, couldn't keep a hold, and Jennings nicks another 5 yards or so. Walker Dylan Walker. A little flick pass that goes out of play. Too clever. Too clever.
He looks sharp.
Oh, it's an England touch. An England touch.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been knocked down by England.
Head and feet Australia. Have a look at this. Dylan Walker. Yeah, Ryan. Oh, did Ryan Hall touch that? Did Ryan Hall actually touch that?
Well, the touch just said he did, so get on with it. England have got to create themselves some field position. And
good at possession in the second half. Australia 60% of possession in that second half, in this second half. 2 tries they've scored. England yet to trouble the scorer since the second period began. But there's only a 4-point gap between them. But Australia in the ascendancy at the moment. Here's Clemmer. Hunt. Parker winding himself up and throwing himself at speed at that England defensive line. Ben Hunt, Cameron Smith, Cronk, Inglis, Walker. Ah, this time there's no doubt he threw that pass away. So that's 2 passes he's delivered off target. And the second one rightly adjudged as going out of play for an England headed feet.
And that's a prime example. Walker only his 2nd test match. Only just turned 20. Matty Utai over there. And he's first and youngest ever Australian to play a test match. And they've just shown a little bit of experience there. They've conceded a try, those 2 boys, and they've just a little bit of experience there.
Here's Graham. Well, the next score, I mean, it's stating the obvious. The next score is massive in this game now, isn't it? Absolutely massive. Here comes Watkins, and England have to be certain.
I'll tell you what's massive, for Widdop and Tompkins to really step up the mark here, urge their middle blokes to get forward, and then play some good attacking structure on an edge. They've just fallen away from that a little bit over the last 20 minutes.
Here's Hodgson. Graham. Burgess. Still strong. Still going. Graham again has been left on the ground. There's a 3rd time today. He's just stayed on the ground with his face in the grass. Widdop across to Smith. Smith to Tompkins. Tompkins to Watkins. Watkins with a step, but it was a big shoulder of Jennings that got right in his ribs and put him down. 6th tackle coming up. Matty Smith kicking it left. Ryan Hall is out there to try and challenge. That's a super take by the young winger, Sione Matautai, by the way. Absolutely terrific, wasn't it?
Oh. Well, not only skill, it was brave.
Well, this is an important defensive set for the English. If they can restrict Australia's territory and get back in the half with a bit of territory of their own, they're every chance here.
Australia looking to blast their way out if they can. Effort by Clemmer. 3 gone. See Aaron Woods ready to come on for the sidelines again. Inglis using his bulk and power and presence as well to try and trouble those English defenders. Swiftly up to play it and looks left, and Friday was there. Hunt though has gone right. He's helped it on to Cordner. Cordner twists it towards a halfway line, and that's the 5th. Here comes the last. Here comes Cronk. Tompkins safely pouched again. Runs it back at pace with Cherry Evans and Hunt ahead of him. It was a little fellas battle now, wasn't it? And the 2 little fellas in the maroon and blue are the ones who win out. And Tompkins and Cherry Evans just having a bit of a go here. Let's keep our eyes on that one. Oh, they've separated now. Charming. Into the final 10 minutes. Very nearly the final 9 minutes. Burgess blasting it forward. Hodgson looking to his right, taking on Cameron Smith. Does well to twist away, keep that ball alive. And Matty Smith sneaks an extra 5 yards downfield. Hodgson, kick over the top. Has he overcooked this? Has he overcooked this? No, he's not. Oh, he's not got the bounce though. He's unlucky with that kick. Australia start back on the 20. What are you thinking, fellas? What are you thinking here now?
Well, I love the way Cameron Smith's controlling the game from Australia's captain point of view. He's letting Ben Hunt do some work around dummy half, and he's been an extra forward, tipping the ball on. Composure around him. I look at England, and I thought that lacked the wrong decision and the wrong composure. If I was an England coach at the moment, I'd think about getting Clark back on too, Brian, would you?
if you're thinking of winning a game, you've got to think about Clark around dummy. I'm looking where a spark's going to come from, and I think he's putting Burgess out there to find a win and try and create something on the fringe as to where the two smaller people are for Australia now, Hunt and Cherry Evans.
We've got plenty of targets to run in Australia, haven't they? You look at Dale Cherry, you look at Cronk, you look at Hunt.
Here's Woods. That's 5. Here comes the 6th. Cronk with a chip to the in-goal area. Tompkins has to deal with it here. Sam Tompkins, and he's not going to get out, is he? He's not going to get out. He's in there for good, despite his best efforts. It's a dropout underneath the sticks. England have got some work to do here with 7.5 minutes to go.
You talked about this is Cooper Cronk's home ground. This is the Storm's home ground. He's the most meticulous kicker in the NRL, but also have the desire on their chase. Last time they got a repeat set, try. And that's the difference at this level. Repeat sets, very hard to defend.
And that's probably been the difference between the two teams for me at this stage, is the quality of the last players in the attacking part of the field. They score one from Smith. Cronk puts the pressure on there to get the ball back. They've had the ball back 2 or 3 times now. I think we'll find that they've had 60-65% possession in this second half.
Here's Didak. Couple of tackles gone, 4 to go. Australia. Owen Woods very nearly bounces off his big barrel chest into the arms of grateful Englishman, but it doesn't. He keeps a hold. Hunt now from dummy half again. Looks left and Cameron Smith. Smith on once more. It's Bird who's going to be held up, but perilously close to that England line. Australia turning up the heat. Hunt dummies to a couple. Here's Cherry Evans, grabbed at, hooked to the ground by Callum Watkins. Here's the last. Cronk with a kick. Up go the challenges. Down it comes. Sargison got a boot to that, then picked it up. And it was a changeover. No advantage England there, and England get the ball back again. My word, that was an important set to survive, wasn't it?
Well, they were kicking for the best athlete in the Australian team. They were kicking for Inglis outside the post. That was their aim.
Clark's on.
Yeah, Clark. As Brian spots, comes firing back on again. Here he is at dummy half. Here comes Tom Burgess. Burgess, Hill, Graham, the big fellas on the field. Tom Burgess. Oh, here comes Clark, making a half break, troubling the Australians.
That's a penalty.
5.5 to go. Here's Graham. This is Widdop. Widdop with a flat pass to Farrell. Oh, very nearly put them through. Quick play the ball on the 6th. On to Matty Smith. Smith puts it high. Challenge required here now. Ferris knocks it backwards into the hands of Clark. Clark gives it alive to Smith. Smith to Widdop. Widdop chips it over the top. Here comes Charlie. Charlie is beaten off one defender. Keeps it alive still. Ferris now. All the Australian defenders rattling around Clark and make the final tackle at the very death. It was frenetic. It was thrilling. But in the end, it's Australia who've come up with the ball.
Brian, we talk about now, someone's got to build pressure with the attack. There's a great opportunity for Great Britain to build pressure with their defence.
We'll get it. Force an error.
So Australia needing to carry it safely clear here. England needing to put these big hits on. Mata Utai's injured. I can't see him playing next week, I don't think. He's been carrying that for a while. Not that that will concern England at this moment. 3 tackles gone. Hunt left, back by Bird. Still going Bird. That's the 4th. So Hunt rolls it again. Friday puts his arm up. Hunt wanted a little run, but Clark knows exactly what was coming and made the tackle. And here comes Cronk with a kick downfield. Ryan Hall puts his name on it, catches it safely, begins the run back again. Pushes off a couple of defenders, offers it back on the inside. Widdop running this way and that, finding the ground on the 20. Tompkins, Sargison. In the end, just decides to go forward.
Their mindset's changed a bit now, England, because they're behind there now, starting to attack a bit more like they did in the first half.
Clark running out from dummy half again. He's finding some yards, isn't he?
Handled it.
Smith. Dummies again. Oh, and almost through. Matty Smith. That's tackle 4. Here's Clark. This is Graham. Shuddering forward. What do they do on the last here? What do they do on the last? Matty Smith spiralling it high again. They're off in chase. Oh, the ball's allowed to bounce again. It's taken though by Josh Mansour. And Australia right there, locked once again. Here's Jennings.
I know from a coaching point of view there, when a ball goes up, you want someone to contest it.
Of course you do.
I mean, you don't want to bounce either team. Both coaches would have been saying, someone contest the ball.
2.5 minutes to play. England need a try and a goal to win the Test match. As it stands, Australia are hanging on and taking the Four Nations tournament into a third and decisive week ahead of the final. As it stands. Here comes the 6th. Cronk with a kick downfield. Tompkins catches it safely enough. Here's Charlie. Charlie runs it up to the 20 metres, just short. 2 minutes to go. Potentially the last set here for England, or very close. They might get the ball in their hands once again after this set, but don't bank on it. They need to make things happen soon.
They're offside there, Australia.
Smith to Widdop to Farrell. Farrell almost getting an arm free to get a pass away. Widdop. Here's Tom Burgess. It's edge of the seat stuff at the moment. Graham now, they're running out of tackles. Taken on by Smith. Here comes Tompkins. Out to Charlie. The cover was across there though. He didn't stand a chance. So he has to get up and play the ball. Cameron Smith comes running out. Out it goes to Widdop. Widdop goes left. This is Farrell. Farrell now with a kick to the in-goal area. English has missed it. Oh, and he just gets a hand on it. Just gets a hand on it.
Stop the clock.
A minute to go. The clock's still running here. The referee will stop it soon. England are hoping. He stopped it now. My word, that was the faintest of brushes. And Hall still nearly got there, didn't he? He was an inch away from winning a Test match. Australia are living on their nerves. Oh my word.
Since England have started to play football again, they've looked
They just
great,
went in that shell after half time.
Yeah.
They tried to preserve the score and preserve the way they were playing. Now they're behind. They've got back in that rhythm again. Oh.
Is that a try?
He's having a look at this. The referee has just decided, having seen the video, that he wants the video referee to make an adjudication here.
I think it's a try, downward pressure with his fingers.
Well, we talked about Jennings' first try. All you got to do is have downward pressure and touch it with even your littlest finger. You got to make sure he's got. Well, this is. Oh, wait, the end on will be the main contributor here. This will be the most dramatic finish to a Test match you have ever seen. The referee has decided to take it to the big screen here, and this is the moment. Does Hall have a finger on the ball there where the ball is on the ground? There are Aussies around us who are saying it's a try. Look, keep in mind a couple of things here. You've got to have downward pressure. You've got to have downward pressure with control. I think he gets a touch on it, but I'm not sure if he's got the downward pressure to control it. And I'm not talking from an Australian point of view there at the moment. Well, don't forget, whatever happens here, the clock is stopped. England will still get another attack. I'm not sure. The England players are beginning to celebrate. They've seen it on the big screen. They think it's a score here. Have you ever seen anything like this? Well, England fans are bouncing up and down. They reckon that's a try. Slow motion, you've got to say it's a try, Brian, haven't you? So, who is the video ref? Bernard Sutton. Bernard Sutton. We've never heard of him before today. He could be the most celebrated man in English Rugby League if he gives this one.
I can't watch.
Well, on slow motion, it's a try. Fast motion, that's why he's gone to fast now.
Ryan Hall doesn't look convinced.
But it's pretty simple, isn't it?
He's nodding his head now.
If he thinks he's got downward
Here we
pressure,
go, here we go, here we go, here we go. No try, no try. And the Aussies breathe a huge sigh of relief. England, literally within a fingertip.
As the ball's rising, so it's kind of a 20. It's dead off him. It's a 20-metre.
And what makes it even worse from England's point of view is that because Ryan Hall was the last to touch it, it is going to be a tap back on the 20, Australia's possession with 44 seconds left to play. What a way to finish a test match.
I think we need to explain to the viewers what's happened here. Because he was the last person to touch it, he's actually forced it dead, a 20-metre restart. They will literally just run one out here, Australia. And
well, it's at times like this you wish this was a 3-test series, don't you? Because we could do with watching England-Australia again, and we might get that opportunity in the final. Because the way it stands, if England beat New Zealand next week and Australia beats Samoa, it'll be down to points difference, and these two might yet meet in the final. But England will have to beat the Kiwis. 15 seconds left to play. It has been an extraordinary finish. Cameron Smith won't take it further than that. He'll take all the time in the world. He's not injured. No, the referee stopped the clock. The referee has stopped the clock, and then he blows the whistle because the hooter sounds. Australia have got away with it. England have been beaten in the tightest of finishes. What a finish. So many talking points there. But Australia have dragged themselves off the bottom of the Four Nations table. England live to fight again. They'll have to beat New Zealand next week now, but don't count that out given the way they played here today and 7 days ago against Samoa as well. It has been a pretty special test match here in Melbourne. Australia winners by 16 points to 12.
God, why do I feel like I've been here before?